So today we're going to be looking at this 1,000-pound engine stand made by Maximum. I got it at Canadian Tire for $134.39. That's including tax. So when I got this, these were already put together. So I'm guessing somebody else had it at one point. I was just putting on the wheels, and I was going to unpause the video that I was making previously, but I'm going to put... So the first step was attach front casters to the front frame using the bolts 19, nuts 20, and washers 21 and 22. That was already done when I got it. Second step, attach rear casters to the rear frame 14 using washers and cotter pins. So it's going to be two washers. Yeah, so two washers, so one here. So the wheel, there's no washer here. The wheel, a washer, and then this tiny little thing that's gonna stop it from moving. Yeah, it doesn't go up any higher than that. I don't trust that too much, but if it works, it works. As long as it's pointing downwards, and I think I'm fine. It's got this handle with double grips, but when you put it in here, you can put it in with the handle. I can focus on that and not the camera. Put it in there so and it'll slide out just as easily. So to make sure the motor doesn't fall out when I'm turning it, like this piece doesn't fall out of the actual frame when I'm turning it, I am going to put hockey tape all around this just to make sure nothing's going to come off. It's a hollow piece. Don't know how thick it is. I'm guessing not very thick. Nope, it seems pretty thin. But if it works, it works. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to do the other wheel, and then I'm going to move to the next step. Okay, so we're done that end. Next end. Sorry, it's going to be a decently long video because I'm very slow. I like to take my time, make sure I get everything. So all the wheels should look like this, and then there's a washer there that's just tacked on to stop this from going too far there. But that was there, right there, so see how there's no washer there? It's just the peg. Just put the wheel on, washer, and that. Ow! That didn't feel good. These pins, I don't really think there's a proper way to put them on, but once I'm done building it, I'm gonna make sure all the pins are pointing downwards so I don't accidentally kick them out when I'm working on the motor. Might even just tack it on there later on. But the roll's nice. Steel wheels. Probably gonna put some hockey tape on that too for extra grip. Attach casters to the frame, blah blah blah. Attach center frame 13 to the front frame using bolts 8, washers 6 and 7, and nuts. So center frame 13, I don't know exactly which one that is, so I'm going to look on here. And 13 is pointing that big piece, so it would be this big thing right here. I want to attach this to attach center frame to the front frame using front frame 12. Yeah, so 12 is that piece that's already been assembled. Using bolts 8. So 2 bolts. And yeah, 2 bolts because there's only 2 8s there. And washers 6, 7. So 6, 7, those are 2 washers, and then 5 is the nut. So I'll be back once I'm done that. That doesn't give me torque specs yet, so I'll have to figure that out. I'll see if it's on another page. So I'll just put this thing together quickly and I'll be back. Okay, so something that I noticed was, see how that number 6 is slightly smaller than number 7? That's because it's a lock washer. Right here, I found that out because these, like these regular washers, are the smallest washers they have in the set. And then the ones that are just smaller than that are all lock washers. So that automatically told me that these are that number 6 is a lock washer. I guess it makes sense though, because like, you don't want that thing coming loose on you. It's just hand tighten for now. I'll tighten it with the torque wrench later on. Next step. No. Center frame to the front frame using bolts 8, blah blah blah. Install main post 15. So 15 would be that piece right here. You don't see it, you're blind. Insert center frame into main post. So center frame into the main post right there. Line holes of center frame and main post and thread into bolt 8 washers, 6, 7 nuts, 5. So that's what I'm gonna do. I gotta look at the diagram a bit though, because it's not the easiest thing to follow, but yeah. Because like, look at here, doesn't say anything about this piece, but the bolt has to go through there, there, and then if you bolt it on here, you won't be able to bolt this piece on. So let me figure out how this is gonna work. Insert center frame into main post. So we'll do that. Line the holes of center frame and main post. Thread into bolt washers 6. Sorry, I'm just thinking of how this is going to work. We'll be back when I figure it out. Okay, so I figured it out. So with 8 right here, this goes up. So, because there's also that lip there, I don't know if you can see that because the sun's reflecting off the screen in my face. There's a bit of a lip there where the weld is. So, that's where the bolt is, where 8 is going to go. But if you go over here, center frame and a main post, line the holes of the center frame and main post 15, and thread into bolt washers 6, 7, and nuts 5. So attach mounting arms. Yeah, so it's mounting all these at the same time. That makes sense now. It's gonna go through there, it's gonna bolt on, and then this piece is gonna go through both of them. And then we gotta stick our hand actually in here and then use a wrench for that, so. Yeah, that makes sense now. I'll be back. So what I did was I did the rear piece first, and I mounted it onto that little edged bracket And then there should be one more of these bolts, and then one more of the lock nut and the regular washer. And then I'll put all those in here once I put this in there. And then I still gotta tighten it up later on, so I'll do that and I'll be back. Now it's together. Just gotta tighten it all down. Because there are 5 of these bolts. These bolts here. I think they're grade 8 bolts, but I'm not sure. Doesn't have the pegs. Just has 8.8. So I'm assuming that they're grade 8 bolts. And that thing in there, you gotta be careful with this one, because if you mess up, then you have to tip the thing over. And if you're doing it on a living room floor, you don't want to do that, because this thing's gonna slide out and hit the floor, and your parents are gonna get pissed off at you. So, as I scrape something metal across the ground. But yeah. So I'm just gonna tighten everything up, and then I'll do that top piece there. Actually, before I start putting this all together, I had to find what these are, because it doesn't say in the book. I don't think it does anyways. But this one for these bolts here are 17 millimeters. And then for the nuts, they're 17 millimeters. And then for the actual bolts, I'm using 5/8. Oops. Sorry, Bonbon. My dog. So I'm gonna put it all together. Actually, I'm gonna look in here first to see if there's any torque settings. Owners, contact, maintenance inspection, take cracks and stand, correct well, blah, 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 blah. And then that's the French stuff, so. Any parts missing or damaged? Nah. I don't know, I'll torque it to, I don't know, grade 8 bolts, so probably 50 foot-pounds each. Might be a bit much, but rather too tight than too loose. So I'm gonna put it on. Well, I'm gonna put it on until they're all snug, and then I'll probably get them better. Like I'll tighten them a bit more. Yeah, it's looking a bit more like a stand now. Well, I'll be back. Sorry if I keep saying that, but see, these past 13 minutes and 35 seconds for you have not been that long for me. It's been like maybe twice that amount. Like I said, I'm slow, so let me take my time and I'll be happy. See you in a second. Okay, that took me like half an hour just to get that one bolt tightened, that one there. If I can focus, the sun's in the eyes. So let me turn this on. Show you if you can see that. It took me about half an hour. Just trying to see if I can find a wrench that'll fit in here, so I can use a torque wrench here. I don't even know what the fuck I torqued it at. Like, don't really think it matters. Hey, this piece under here is bent a little bit on the inside up here, close to where it bolts. But see if you put pressure here. Sorry, put pressure on the back. This thing's gonna come forward anyways. It's just one bolt. So there's still enough room for it to move. Will it focus? Like, there we go. That. 2 bolts there, 2 bolts there, 8 bolts underneath if they're holding those wheels on. I got these pins. Okay, so one of them points downwards, as you can see, but the other one points sideways. So, like, I can't adjust that. It's the way it was welded on. It goes down slightly there, so I put it like that. That one I had to flip over, like that one over there, I had to flip it over. It's torque wrench. It's always handy. It's an older one. This thing's like 80 to 100 years old now. But like the plastic's still good on it, like still reads properly. And then that bit that I have on there, it's because the bit on the actual torque wrench is slightly bigger, so I had to get like a, I think I paid like $1 for this bit at one of my friend's places. Just bought it off of him for $1. $1 or $2. Yeah, that looks good. I like it. Looks a lot like a motor stand now. Just need that top piece. I gotta somehow make it through the door. So, so next up we have attach 4 mounting arms, 17. If you can see that. Oh man, the sun is just screwing everything up right now. There you go. Attach 4 mounting arms, 17 to the mounting plate, 16 using bolts, 1 washers, 2 and 3. Note that 2 washers are used for each bolt. So, see over here, that's like the most complicated part of it to follow. Once I get this done, then I can finally get the fucking Buick put on here. I've got a Buick 455 for my car project. 1971 Buick 455. So, hopefully this will focus right. Let me see if that's focusing right. Not really, but come on.